Alright, so I'm going to try this again. I'll make this quick. I'm bored. I think I have like 30 minutes before the next football game starts. So far today I'm 1-for-1, so that's good. But I'm going to quickly go through the goals. I'm just going to list them off of the last two Preds games. The Chicago game, the Columbus game, and give a little bit what I thought about both. So for the first one, the Sissons, a nice backhand feed from Fiala, and Ekholm with a good keeping by Dan Hughes. DeBrincat scored on the power play from Kane. And then 8 seconds later, off the face-off, Arvidsson scored. Later, the power play goal from Phil Forsberg, from Ruben Yossi, and Johansson off the face-off. And a shorthanded goal from Taves, which was from Kruger. Forsberg turned it over to Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith gave it over to Patrick Kane, and Anisimov threw it in the back of the net. And that was the game-tying goal. It's just sent it over into overtime. Forsberg redeemed himself though later on and was able to get the goal to win the game. And that was a minute in, and he came right off the bench. Blackhawks hadn't had a change yet, so that was pretty good. We had a bad start that game. Really hemmed in our own zone. The Preds were able to get a good start from Rene, which was really important. But the Preds were able to rebound after the first goal that they gave up. There was just a fantastic turnaround from Victor Arvidsson. I believe 6 seconds right off the face-off. Yeah, they made it really hard to enter the zone. They played good hockey after a bad start. The penalties that they did give up in this game, really, they were able to turn around and make good of it. Usually, whether it was pressure or a goal, there were some bad penalties, especially the Hughes one early. The power play struggled to score at first, but they were able to generate shots. Grimaldi played well defensively. There's lapses to the bad defense, but D'Elia played well on the penalty kill for the Blackhawks. I thought he actually looked really good in this game. They had another slow start in the third period, and really all night it was the Arvidsson versus DeBrincat. They both were trading chances back and forth. And there's just some bad mistakes defensively. Now on to the Columbus Blue Jackets game. The Preds actually lost this one in overtime. 4-3. Boone Jenner got the first goal, which was a bad clear on Subban's part. But I think he was like it just didn't go off his stick right. Bad play. Boone Jenner picked it up top shelf against Rene, which, by the way, Rene playing his second consecutive game. UC Saros actually was out, was scratched the last second due to illness. Nick Bonino was able to tie it up off power play pressure. It wasn't on the power play. It was a good pass from Ekholm off the pressure. Nick Bonino was able to just walk in and be able to get a good goal. Artemi Panarin scored the second one from Zach Werenski on the power play. Panarin looked fantastic. He was great all game. And then 11 seconds later, Boone Jenner got another one on a bad turnover in the defensive zone by the Preds. And then I think it was sometime later, maybe about 4 minutes later, Arvidsson was able to score off the first line, putting pressure on the defense of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Doing what the first line does, doing what the Joe line does. So then I think it was 38 seconds later, Ekholm saved the goal on one end and was able to go down on 2-on-1 with Colton Sissons, who again has been playing fantastic throughout the stretch since he's been back, and he's able to, and he feeds Ekholm for a 2-on-1 goal, which is able to tie up the game 3-3. Then they go into overtime, and Panarin is able to end it with a power play goal. Really bad penalty to take in overtime. It's any penalty is bad to take in overtime. This one was especially bad. It was a back and forth start. Really sloppy at the beginning. I thought this was probably one of the sloppier games they've played in the stretch. The Preds. The third line the third line and Pekka were able to kind of bail them out. Third line was able they were an energy line. They went in. They were the first one. They were the first one to kind of have solid pressure. About 4.5 minutes into the game, they're the first ones to be able to have solid pressure. It was a physical, fast start to the second period. Forsberg in the last 2 games, he's been really, really physical. Ever since he's been back, he's just been a physical force. He's thrown his body around. He's been able to hit. He finishes his checks. He's been playing pretty well. I really thought the fourth line iced the puck too much, especially in the second period. I just didn't think they were as good as they have been. That's probably their worst effort. They played decently in the second period, still pretty sloppy. The biggest thing to come out of the second period was they hit 3 posts in the second period. The Blue Jackets hit 3 posts in the second period, which saved the game. Otherwise, it'd be a very different game. I think Panarin, in the first minute or 2 of the third period, hit the post there too. It was just sloppy play for the 2 goals that the Preds did let up in the third period. Korpisalo was good late. And it's funny, as I wrote down that he was playing really well, the Preds went and scored their 2 goals. Pecorino was able to stand on his head and keep the Preds in the game. And really just it was a bad penalty in overtime that cost the Preds the game. And that's going to happen sometimes. But the point streak continues. They haven't lost a game in regulation since I started doing these videos. Now that I say that, they're probably going to lose the game in regulation. Next game's a pretty big game. They're playing against the Carolina Hurricanes. It's an afternoon game. I think it starts at 1, 12 o'clock Nashville time. So it should be a good game, I think. Both teams are fast. Preds are a lot more physical. The Carolinas known to take a lot more shots than their opposing team. But overall, I don't think these last 2 games are terrible, but I don't think they were great. They weren't the greatest efforts the Preds have put out. Very sloppy play, especially in the Blue Jackets game. Some bad turnovers, like the goals, like the one in the tying game. There was some sloppy turnovers in the defensive end, like the game-tying goal in the Blackhawks game. But overall, I think it was a pretty good 2 back-to-back game stretch. I think we're done with back-to-backs for a little bit. I have to check the schedule again, but. After this next game, I believe the road trip's finally over for Nashville. It's been a long road trip, but they haven't been playing bad. So like I said, the point streak continues, and that one should be it for this one. If you like this video, please give it a like, go subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment down below what you think about the last 2 games from the Preds. Yeah, enjoy the outro.